This is John McCormick, and welcome to another energetic leadership video. Thank you for taking the time to listen and watch some of these. I hope they're giving you some value to your business and your life. I want to take a couple of minutes, if I may, and talk to you about a particular distinction that can bring you benefit in the area of being less emotionally attached to your business and your life. And as you know, whenever you're emotionally attached to something, it can often lead to upset, disappointment, suffering, anything like that. You know, once we get ourselves attached to certain things, that can lead to problems and affect the outcome of what we're trying to accomplish. So this particular distinction I want to speak about today, I call being committed to something and at the same time unattached to something. And I know that sounds a bit funny, and a lot of people may think that's really not possible, but I'm here to tell you that it is. You can be completely committed to something and at the same time unattached to it. In fact, that is the most powerful way to be in life with anything. But first, let me just take a moment and point to this thing called attachment and where it comes from and how it affects our life. Humans in general become attached to a lot of things, you know, new things they buy, homes, cars, their children, themselves, their relationships. It's a phenomena of humanity, and everyone does it. We all get ourselves at some point or another, we all become attached to things in life. Now, it's absolutely normal that we do that, but it can lead to a lot of upset in our lives, particularly when those things that we're attached to leave our life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business deal, whether it is the business you're working for, something you're trying to accomplish in your business or in your life. Things are always changing, and when they do change, if you still remain attached to those things, then you eventually suffer as a result of it because they are no longer in your life. And this distinction is very key and a very powerful one too, in allowing you to unplug yourself from the attachment you have on things. And when you can do that, you're much more effective in life, and particularly in your business, because this is a business conversation. When you can be unattached, now I don't mean being cold and impartial, I just mean being unattached to the outcomes that you're working on in your business, you are much more effective. So we all have, I was going to say the bad habit, but we all have the habit of becoming attached to things in our life. And we do this unconsciously and without any effort whatsoever. And when you begin to notice this, and you can, what I would say is when you begin to distinguish this, that we become attached to the things in our life, you can begin to let go of that attachment. But there's no way you can do that until you can distinguish and see that that is what you are doing. So if you take an example, I can take something out of my own life. I'm working on a business proposal with a new company. As the process goes along, I notice myself becoming more attached to the way I would like to see it turn out, to the outcome. And, you know, wanting it to be in my favor, it gets bigger, the attachment gets stronger, and then suddenly the new client decides to go with somebody else, and I'm left there upset, with a gigantic unfulfilled expectation in my life. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go. Now I'm standing there suffering and upset and disappointed about the way it all turned out. So there's an example of it. Now, having a distinction called being committed to that outcome and at the same time unattached to that outcome allows me to move forward with closing that business deal. Yes, I want it to turn out a particular way. Yes, I want it to be in my favor. But at the same time, I am aware that it might not, and that I am attaching myself to a particular way I would like it to be. And when I can get some room around that, when I can loosen up the bolts around the way I function as a human being, it creates a space which allows me to operate in a more effective way. You know what it's like. Whenever you make an emotional decision in business, they're often the wrong decisions. Quick emotional decisions sometimes turn out, but my experience has been they often do not too. So in this particular case, what I'm saying is having the awareness to notice that you're attaching yourself to the way you would like something to be in this particular scenario in business can affect the outcome of that deal. And when you can be aware of this, you can move forward powerfully without being emotionally connected to it, do the things you need to do, move the deal along, and be okay at the end of it, no matter how it turns out. Now, it's always better if it turns out in your favor, but my experience of life is most things don't. You only need a few great things to turn out, but the answer in life, from my experience, has been the answer is almost always no. So we are really setting ourselves up for a whole lot of disappointment, given that the answer to life is almost always no. And again, a few great yeses gets you everything you want. But my experience is you get a lot of no along the way. And that's part of it. That's just part of the way it is. So here again, I'm just pointing to a distinction that says I can be completely committed to something, but not emotionally attached to it at the same time. And that requires a level of awareness to know how you function and operate as a business person or in life in general. You know, you buy a new car and it gets stolen. You get a new house and it burns down. You work towards the biggest business deal in your life, and someone else comes and takes it away. All of these things happen in life, as we know, and a lot worse. So having this distinction allows you to be able to unplug yourself as best you can. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. In fact, it's a lifetime's journey. Being able to be aware of that and at the same time unhook yourself from it. Be aware of your attachment and unhook yourself. Be aware of it and unhook yourself. It's like developing a muscle. It's like you need to take this distinction to the gym and really work it. So again, the key here is awareness, being able to distinguish how you're emotionally attaching yourself to something and then unhook yourself and move forward powerfully with a lot more logic and insight and clarity in the matter, because we know emotions can cloud that up. So that's it. Might be worth having a look at what you're doing in business and in life. Where are you emotionally attached? Where can you let go of that attachment? Because I can absolutely guarantee you when you can do that, you are much more effective. Okay? Hope that's of some use. We shall see you on the next one.